Um, what is happening here? What? What is happening here? What is happening? What's happening here? What's happening? What's happening here? What's happening here?
You've done a hell of a lousy job. You're fired. We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. MSNBC's queen of race-baiting Joy Reid has finally been given the boot, and the internet is throwing a party. Today, we're exposing exactly why this walking PR disaster got fired, digging into her most unhinged meltdowns, and revealing what Trump just said about MSNBC's epic implosion. Spoiler, it's glorious. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. MSNBC claims this was a network shakeup, but insiders say Reid's show was a ratings black hole. After Trump's 2024 win, her audience evaporated faster than Biden's cognitive function. By December, half her viewers were gone. But was it just the numbers? Nope. Reid's a liability, a walking HR complaint who turned MSNBC into a laughingstock. Even her staff found out via Twitter. Ouch. Let's have a look at this super smooth brain take that Kamala's campaign was flawless.
I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. She had
Watch as even Rachel Mad Cow feels cringe over how stupid that was.
Campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. She had every prominent celebrity voice.
This could also be because it had come out at this point that Kamala's celebrity endorsements had been paid for, making her point even more embarrassingly stupid. So even with all the gaffe, mistakes, and low IQ nonsensical word salads for every answer, mindless hysterical cackling for eternities at a time, her campaign was flawless because she had the support of Queen Latifah. And then there's the time she equated recovering from COVID to be as strong as getting shot in the head and then getting up right away to fist pump and chant. I mean, really? Check this.
Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. His survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days, doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age.
Wow. Jack Brewer is the CEO of the Brewer Foundation, and he joins us now. So the left is now equating the mild cold you get with COVID to being shot and nearly assassinated. Jack, your thoughts?
You have to wonder what's her reality, what's her motive to say something so idiotic. It really is unbelievable. I mean, a man that she gets to watch on television take a bullet, get up and throw his fist in the air and tell the American people to fight in that same instance. And she's going to talk about COVID.
And let's have a look at this gem. During campaigning for Biden, she says she doesn't even like him or his policies, but it's him or Hitler.
Oh, and by the way, if it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma. I don't even really particularly like the guy. A lot of his policies, don't like him. He's not Donald Trump, right? Yeah, Hitler, White House. We keeping him out, keeping Project 2025 out. That's all I care about.
Well, Trump was already in for 4 years at this stage, and he wasn't remotely like Hitler then. And this is supposed to be her campaigning for Biden, convincing us to vote for him?
Liz Warren, you had all these choices that were all younger than Biden, fresher and newer than Biden. And you know who y'all picked to be the president and the nominee? Joe Biden. Or like when I was growing up in my house, it's what mom made for dinner or go to bed. Those are your choices. You don't always get choices in your love. You get what mom made for dinner or take your ass to bed. And in this case, it's either what mom made for dinner or Hitler.
Stop it. Get some help.
She had to get fired at some point. Watch as Megyn Kelly predicted it 3 months before.
We've got to spend another minute. Yes, another minute on Joy Reid. It's a TikTok situation until her ass is fired. It's just, there's no way MSNBC, which is in a full meltdown now about how bad their losses were, there's no way they can keep this woman. I realize they're in the same problem that the Democrat Party is. Like, they have a base that they need to keep. But she and her little friend, Ellie Mistal, are truly the most racist people on television.
Hey, I just want to give some free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and Prioritize Black Community.
Black women aren't interested in saving America? Hold on, Reid. That's a massive, sweeping generalization, and a damning one at that.
Okay. First of all, where is your hair?
Got him!
Her warnings post his victory, Eliana Sot 20.
Don't think because you have a green card and came through the right way, if you're brown, you may not stick around. I don't think they care whether you have a green card or not. They're pulling people out and taking people out of this country, whether you like it or not.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So he's going to deport all brown people, even if you're here legally. Like, this NBC owns MSNBC, and this organization is allowing her...
Not anymore.
...to spew this racist hate on their channel, that he's going to deport all brown people, even those here legally.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. I'm 1776% done with this nonsense. Get in link below before some jerk buys the last one.
But hey, maybe I'm being too mean. She did, after all, go to Harvard, right? Well, why don't I ask her? Hey, Joy Reid, how did you get into Harvard?
Well, let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action.
Okay, so you didn't get in on merit. But hey, it was still Harvard, right? Why don't you use your superior education and big brain to give me a history lesson, please?
Where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism.
Right.
Namely, a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's
Brother, this guy stinks!
in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to
Skip to the end.
rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class.
That disgusting rhetoric was on repeat.
When the Doge people arrived at USA on Friday, they forced their way.
It was obvious she would lose her job, especially when MSNBC's ratings are this low. And her show is one of the lowest of the low. But what isn't obvious is, why did it take this long? Some people on X have been drawing connections between USAID paying over 6,200 journalists and 707 news outlets that we know of so far, and that being cut recently. Then soon after, layoffs are being made at MSNBC? Do you think they are connected? Let me know in the comments.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 But before I get labeled as a dangerous conspiracy theorist, Let's see what Joy says about why her show was thrown in the dumpster.
My show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
What the hell was that? She can't stop the gaslighting and dishonesty, ever. She's making out like her show was canceled because she was brave or bold or something. That she was fighting for just causes? No, you were a lying, obnoxious, unlikable, extremely divisive race grifter. And as a result, no one was watching your show. You're not a martyr. You're not a victim. You caused the audience to tune out, no one else.
You have done that yourself.
MSNBC's down 54% since the election. That means the corporations that run those two agencies are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars.
So, yeah, I don't think it was because you were bold or brave. I think it was a money issue, made worse by a you issue. And let's take a quick look at the you issue again just to remind ourselves.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, bring waterworks. White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect.
My show had value.
And what about the time homophobic tweets were found on your Twitter from years ago?
A community that I support and that I deeply care about is hurting because of some despicable and truly offensive posts being attributed to me.
Attributed to you? Well, you wrote them. So who else would they be attributed to?
And many of you have seen these blog posts circulating online and in social media. Many of them are homophobic.
You are gay.
Discriminatory and outright weird and hateful. When a friend found them in December and sent them to me, I was stunned. Frankly, I couldn't imagine where they'd come from or whose voice that was. In the months since, I've spent a lot of time trying to make sense of these posts. I hired cybersecurity experts to see if somebody had manipulated my words or my former blog. And the reality is they have not been able to prove it.
Okay.
But here's what I know. I genuinely do not believe I wrote those hateful things because they are completely alien to me. But I can definitely understand, based on things I have tweeted and have written in the past, why some people don't believe me. I've not been exempt from being dumb or cruel or hurtful to the very people I want to advocate for. I own that. I get it. And for that, I am truly, truly sorry.
You serious?
And let's see what Trump had to say. Having been on the receiving end of many of Reid's lies, and MSNBC's for that matter, I'm sure he's enjoying it. Low-life chairman of Comcast, Brian Roberts, the owner of ratings challenged NBC and MSDNC, has finally gotten the nerve up to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid. Based on her ratings, which were virtually non-existent, she should have been canned long ago, along with everyone else who works there. Also thrown out was Alex Wagner, the sub on the seriously failing Rachel Maddow show. Rachel rarely shows up because she knows there's nobody watching, and she also knows that she's got less television persona than virtually anyone on television except perhaps Joy Reid. Then there's, of course, the low IQ con man Al Sharpton, who is perhaps the lowest TV ratings in the history of television. What is he doing to Brian Roberts to stay on the air? This whole corrupt operation is nothing more than an illegal arm of the Democratic Party. They should be forced to pay vast sums of money for the damage they've done to our country. Fake news is an unpardonable sin. And he's right about damage to the country. Take this hot mic moment from Joy in this next clip. During the election, she was saying voting for Trump will lead to more wars, etc., while her mic picks up her joking that Biden is probably at that moment starting another effing war. The opposite of what she was saying publicly.
Congress needs to get it done.
Starting another fucking war.
The level of dishonesty is crazy. The USA is involved in 2 wars at this point, which threatens to escalate into a much larger global conflict. Joy doesn't care. She tells you to vote for Biden for less war. And then behind the scenes, she's joking about how Biden is starting wars.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
Joy, just wondering, do you think people with Trump derangement syndrome know they have it?
You're an idiot.
And second question, did you steal Trump's haircut or did he steal yours? Cultural appropriation haircut right there.
Joy Reid's firing isn't just a win, it's a warning. Woke media's house of cards is collapsing, and we're here to watch it burn. Smash that like button if you're celebrating. Subscribe for more truth bombs. And ring the bell so you never miss a liberal meltdown.
I'm 1776% done with this nonsense. Get in link below before some jerk buys the last one.